Think about the last great story you read. To truly understand where, when, and why those events happen, what specific information do you actually need from the author? We call this complete set of background information the context. It encompasses every detail required to fully understand a literary event. This diagram illustrates how setting fits into that picture. Setting provides the specific spatial and temporal details, the physical location, and the time period. Notice how setting resides entirely within context. It is a strict subset. Treating these terms as interchangeable limits our perspective. Recognizing the difference reveals how a physical landscape is actually governed by much larger historical and social forces. We look at context in three distinct ways. First is authorial context, drawn from a writer's life and circumstances, like Chinua Achebe, whose background directly influenced his writing. Then there is historical context, reflecting the societal issues and history that prompted the work. The third is literary context. This examines how a text fits into broad thematic categories, as seen in the contemporary works of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This illustration breaks down setting into physical, social, and psychological components. We see markers for place, time, weather, culture, historical era, customs, and dialect. These elements, like weather blending with local culture, interlock to create the total environment for action. By breaking down these environmental details, we can see exactly why an author might place a character in a harsh landscape to mirror an isolated internal state. Once the world is built, the story needs movement. Plot is the purposeful arrangement of events, actions, conflicts, and resolutions. A linear plot moves chronologically from exposition through conflict to climax and resolution. Episodic plots chain discrete events linked by theme. Parallel plots run side-by-side timelines, intersecting eventually. Finally, a flashback loops backward to inject backstory before returning to the present. A story's impact relies heavily on this sequence. The tension you feel as a reader is dictated just as much by when the author reveals information as by what that information actually is. To execute those structures, authors rely on plot devices. These are specific, targeted techniques used to move the plot forward, delay it, or redirect it. Some devices control information. Foreshadowing drops hints for future events. A red herring plants false information. A flashback pauses the current timeline. Other devices create shock. A plot twist executes an unexpected deviation from the anticipated ending. Deus ex machina occurs when an insoluble conflict is suddenly resolved by the appearance of a brand new character or external force, swooping in to fix the problem. When you identify these techniques, you start to see the author's hand at work, making deliberate choices to shape the pace and direction of the story. Let's test this framework. If you were handed a deck of mixed-up story cards, how would your arrangement differ if you were building a linear plot versus a flashback plot? Your first tasks involve identification, scanning texts to pull out the specific details of the setting, and reorganizing jumbled story cards to classify them into their correct plot types. Next, you will synthesize this information. You will compile relevant social events from a text and cite explicit textual evidence to show which different plot devices the author used. Finally, you will apply these concepts creatively. You are tasked with designing a physical movie set based directly on the background context of the text, and you will write an original 3-scene sketch using distinct plot types and devices. This map lays out the complete architectural framework of a story. Context and setting build the world, while plot structures and devices drive the experience. Mastering both empowers you to critically analyze literature and construct intricate stories of your own.